Coming up on this episode of the Spiro podcast, one thing that I would really encourage you to do is don't stress necessarily even the photography, their videography. Stress the business benefit to them adding you to their team.
Welcome to the Spiro podcast, managing your real estate photography and videography business. With your hosts, Todd Craig and Craig Magrum.
Hi, and welcome to the Spiro podcast, managing your real estate photography and videography business. Spiro is a software platform that was created to help you manage and really scale your day-to-day business. We want to see you succeed, and that's what this software is all about. The podcast, talking about the business of real estate visual media, and just giving you insight from ourselves and from others that we know in the business to help you succeed and really take off in your market. So I'm Craig Magrum, host of the podcast. Welcome. Co-host and Spiro owner and founder, Todd Craig. Welcome back another week, Todd.
Thank you, Craig. It's good to be here. They're going way too fast. So I say probably the same thing every week, but it's great to be here. Exciting topics today. And always enjoy a lot of good feedback, a lot of feedback and questions from everyone out there. So Please just continue that. I mean, we love that. That is like the biggest compliment, just hearing from you all out there. And you can reach us at hello@spiro.media via email. If you're a Spiro user, also you can send me a message in the pink chat bubble. It all behind the scenes, it all comes into the same system for us. So you can address it to me, and the team will tag me in there, and I will get back in there, and I will respond, or you'll hear from us, or I'll say, hey, great idea. We're going to cover that on a podcast. And I can't tell you just how humbling that is that you all message in and to hear from you and to hear how it's impacting your business. I mean, that's just, I don't know. It's crazy to me. Craig, we talked about this idea. It was your idea to do a podcast a couple years ago prior to us launching the software. And we wanted to do it to empower and to just give knowledge to the community out there, mainly because I've screwed so many things up and I know what not to do. But it's just so cool. Think of that idea you had, Craig, just a couple years ago. And now all of you listening out there and hearing from all of you. And so it's just humbling. And we just thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Yeah,
we appreciate it. We don't take it for granted that you're watching and listening, because we know as owners, as leaders, your time is valuable. You've got a lot going on. So the fact that you take the time out of your day to listen or to watch, on YouTube, we don't take that lightly. So we hope and pray that this is a value to you and continues to help you grow and succeed in what you're doing, because we love what we do. Todd, I get to tell people that, the realtors that I work with and brokerage presentations that I've done, I can honestly look them in the eye and say, I like my work. I enjoy the creative side. I enjoy building the relationships with you. I enjoy knowing that what we're doing is actually of benefit. Like we're selling a service, right? And there's all sorts of products and services out there. Some are needed, some are not necessarily needed. But this empowers homeowners to be able to sell their house to hopefully move up and, increase their wealth. And it's truly helping people. We're helping realtors with their career by giving them good visual marketing tools that make them look professional and grow their business as well. So we're helping two different entities in one role of being a real estate, photographer or videographer. So knowing that I've got a clear conscience of what I'm selling, of what I'm offering as a service is actually helpful. And I get that creative, I don't know. Hopefully you guys love what you do as well.
Yeah.
I kind of rambled there. Sorry.
No, it's so good, Craig. And the thing about it is as business owners, we all have good and bad days, right? I mean, we all do. I have good days and I have bad days. And the thing about it is, in a service business, and we're a business to business service, that you don't always hear how you impact people. You don't hear that a couple 3 states over happen to choose this house to make their own because they fell in love with the photos and the video. Like that happens. You very rarely hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And just remember that, it's nice to have. I would just suggest that you keep a wins board somewhere. So what are the wins for your company? Keep those, share those. We do it on our Friday morning meeting, and it's good to always look back and understand that you are impacting people and what you do is valuable. And no matter, the money aside, if you're having a profitable year or not, say it's going to be your best year and you're going to make, good profit and you're happy with all that. If you don't really impact people, you can only do that so many years before you're like, why am I making this money? Like, what is this? Okay. So yeah, money is a necessity. But when you just revolve around that, and I'm highly motivated by money. So this is someone saying like, hey, I typically start everything because I realize I can make money on it. But there's only, I don't know. I don't want to go too deep in that, but it really makes you feel better when you understand you're impacting people.
Yeah. Yep. There's purpose to your work, basically.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Well, topic this week, we've got, what was it, 4 or 5 questions that came in this week, Todd?
We do. We have quite a few questions. Before that, Craig, I have just a quick announcement, if I can. We're going to start. So y'all got a really big update a week ago with the Cubicasa integration. So if you have an integrated Cubicasa, that's all in that are streamlined, and then a whole host of other updates as well. If you search the knowledge base for updates, you'll find those release notes. One thing, just a 10-second tip, if you need a topic for your newsletter, and if you're a US-based real estate media company, talk about the buyer-approved commission update in Spiro, that now your agents can advertise the buyer commission on the branded website. So search that in the knowledge base if you need more. But just a quick tip here, if you're looking for, because we are at the very end, you're going to be at the beginning of the month by the time you hear this. If you need a September newsletter topic, just use that, type it out, and send that sucker off. And that's a nice touch point for your clients.
Right. Additionally, if I can tag on to that, Todd,
yes.
if you're giving a brokerage presentation in front of a room full of realtors, how slick are you going to look knowing what they're dealing with right now? Pull up your order website, your order page or the branded website. Show them that on the screen, on the large screen. Hey, we know what you're dealing with. Look at what we can provide for you. That's going to set you apart from other photographers.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is a big one too, right, Craig? This wasn't just a small change. This isn't like, hey, we updated section 14 of the contract. This was like a big change.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
Also, I'm going to be hosting, we're calling them Tech Talks with Todd. I said it correctly that time. I am on the 1st and the 3rd Thursday of the month at 4:30 p.m. Eastern in the Spiro Super User Facebook group. So if you are a Spiro user and you have not joined that group, please join. If you're not a Spiro user, sign up for free, spiro.media. Then join the Facebook group. And I'm just going to host on there anything tech related. We might hit a little tangent and pivot and talk the business of real estate photography. And also my goal with this is I want to spend more time with you all. And this is one thing I shared a week or two ago, that when, years ago when we just launched Spiro, it was Craig and I, and we were connecting with you all on a very personal level. And I don't get that as much anymore. I show up in the chat when I can, and I love talking to you. And this was kind of humbling. I had to use the other day. I was like, I got a question. Is this really Todd? I was like, that's just so humbling. It's like, I'm just sitting here working like, yes, this is like, it's just, It's crazy. But I want to connect with you. I want to hear what we can do to make your job easier, not only from a software standpoint, but from a business standpoint. And how can we leverage the 20 years of knowledge that we have and the team that we have and the efficiency flows that we have to help all of you. So come join me the 1st and the 3rd Thursday of the month in the Facebook Spiro Super User Facebook group, 4:30 Eastern. Also, if you are new to Spiro and you are trying to just figure out what it's all about and you want to know more about it, you're welcome to join my Tech Talks. Also, Nick Kellis who does a lot of our client outreach at Spiro. He is going to be hosting group demos, and he is on the first and the third Wednesday of the month. He's still at that time, 4:30 Eastern. So if you'd like to be included in that, we will send you an invite. We're doing a Zoom invite on that. So just hit us in the pink chat bubble. You can come once, twice. You can come every time. Nick's a great individual. I've known him for a lot of years. He worked in the TV and film production industry out in LA for about 25 years. So he did everything from Power Rangers to Wife Swap to LA Inc. And he has a ton of knowledge in production. He's a fun individual to talk to, and he's got a lot of knowledge about Spiro as well. So those are some opportunities for you all out there to take advantage of and come connect with us on a live person-to-person conversation. So we're going to be in there, and we would love to have you. Again, the first and the third Wednesday and Thursday at 4:30 Eastern.
And they can sign up for that group demo via the pink chat bubble in their Spiro system.
The pink chat bubble, and we'll send you the invite.
Okay, perfect. We'll put notes on this in the show notes so that you have access to that information. All right.
Awesome.
Cool. All right. So a lot of massive updates with Spiro last week. Anything new or anything more that you want to add before we jump into things?
What we're working on. So reshoots is the big thing that we're working on, and that's going through the back end APIs are all done. We're working on the front end of that now. That's design and then coding. Also, just a few small finesses like Cubicasa with the integration. Currently, you need to have Dropbox integrated, because what the integration does is Cubicasa gives it the Dropbox. Then we pull it from Dropbox to the property website. Some of you are like, hey, I don't use Dropbox, and we're coming up with a pivot there to where we'll pull it directly from Cubicasa into the property website. That thing's coming. Some different import options. So how long we import media for, and also a button. So if you upload photos and you're waiting for that auto import to happen, or video or floor plans, we're going to give you a button where you can say import now. And then Spiro will go out and check those folders in Dropbox and bring it all back in. So other finesses as well, some UI, some UX things, some mobile things. But those are the most notable that we're working on behind the scenes right now.
Awesome. Good deal. Always moving forward. You guys continue to bring some great ideas. So we just want to say thank you for that.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Well, Todd, we were discussing before the podcast, the topic for the week. And you said, well, we got a bunch of listener questions, viewer questions, and we love that. Again, if you do have a business question about real estate media, we can tackle creative, but that's not really our forte. There's a lot of other great real estate photographers and videographers that talk about the creative side. We're talking about the business. So if you have a business question, let us know hello@spiro.media, and we would love to hear from you. So we've got like 4 or 5 questions that came in, Todd.
And if we don't get your question this week, if you've sent something in, sorry, Craig, if you've sent something in, we will get to you. Keep sending them in. So if we didn't get to you, we apologize, but we picked 4 or 5 this week.
Yeah. So we're reading these a little bit cold, and we're just going to give you honest feedback and thoughts. And I might get stumped at one point, Todd, but we'll see. All right. So our first question comes from Robert from Xenon Media. Hopefully I pronounced that correct. He said, one main question. I know you have, okay, Robert, come on. He said, I know you have more important things to do with our time than just respond to this. First of all, this is what we love to do. This is important to us. That's why we do it. So don't put yourself down there. During the Workflows podcast, y'all mentioned organizing your photos for delivery. So front of the house, interior front entry, family room, etc. What would you recommend when it's a ranch style house with everything on a single floor, when the flow of the house doesn't necessarily go in order from family room to master bedroom, etc.? Do you have a general opinion? Most important to least important shots. Robert. Yeah. So, yeah.
Good question. Craig, I'll do an answer. You do an answer. We'll just kind of go back and forth. My quick answer is you have to, of course, the front exterior is the most important. Then you have to show the entryway. You just have to show people where they're coming in, the front door. From there, you have to decide what is the most important. So if there is a okay den up front, but there's a fabulous open family room kitchen that's down the hallway straight ahead, I go and show the most important. I show that we should say, get to the meat and potatoes. Okay. Get to the main course. But you have to show where that door is coming in at. It throws me if I can't see the front door, the inside, the foyer. So get to the meat and potatoes. That would be main living areas. And then from there, after your main living areas, even if you're going out of order, you could circle back to the den then. So that's still a main living area. Then go to your master bedroom, master bath, bedroom, bathroom, bedroom, bathroom. Toggle those back and forth, as many bedrooms and bathrooms as you have. Then come back up and hit the non-main items, which would be a half bath, a laundry room, a mud room. Check your Spiro notes. Do they want the inside of the garage? If so, this is when I shoot it. Then go backyard, take the best shot first, and work your way back in.
Yeah. For me, it doesn't really matter if it's a 2-story, 3-story house or a ranch. It's still going to be the most important rooms in the house in terms of ordering it. And you might have to shoot out of order if the house isn't ready. Well, then you go back in your post when you get home and, upload all those photos. You just have to rearrange the photos if you happen to have to shoot out of order. But
yep.
Yeah.
And we have a guide on that. So if you go to the support.spiro.media, search after shoot workflow. I did a full video showing you all the software we use. There's nothing you have to buy. It's Adobe Bridge. It's free. This is literally 20 years of streamlining this and going as most efficient possible. So just steal that, do it. It works. I'm telling you, we do it for 12,000 plus jobs a year. 30 some people do it. It works. Your photographers will do it. Just clone that.
Yeah. Let me tack on to Robert's question real quick, Todd. Would you say there's a difference between photos and video in terms of order of the house, say for a ranch?
I would, yes. So photos I'm going to go in that order. Video, I'm going to tweak a little bit because so we do what we call a walkthrough cinematic. That's the way the merged fleet, a cinematic walkthrough. That's the way the merged fleet was built to edit, and that's what we use. And even if you don't use the merged fleet, I think it's important that you can't disconnect people. They need to be able to draw a floor plan after they watch the video. So if you ping pong back and forth, it's disconnected for a viewer. So you have to go more in walking order. So let's quickly take the example of where you shoot the inside foyer, but you go to the meat and potatoes of the house, the family room and the kitchen. Typically, that area is connected via a small little hallway or a wet dry bar back to your dining room or your den. So you can get back to it. Typically, you don't get to a dead end. And then from there, you can circle back to your den, and then you can walk down the hallway to the master. Craig, did you do anything different?
No, that's pretty much it. I still try and front load, the most important spaces. But again, because we're trying to lay out their floor plan, it really is the same idea as photos, at least to me, is I'm going to show where I've come from, or I'm going to start outside that space so that contextually they know where they're starting from before we move into the new space. Yeah. And then it's just a mix of the walking shots and then your cinematic detail type shots.
Yeah. Let's take this one step further, Craig, because we get asked all the time about our training curriculum. And I think it's the best in the industry. And we're trying to figure out how we can package it to allow you guys to use it. But I want to if you're building your own curriculum right now, we just want to give you some verbals. And this is if you're training a team. Some verbals we use is with the order, get to the meat and potatoes. So it works for us here in the Midwest. That's like the main course. That's the most important thing first. And then when you're inside of a room and even in a house, we always ask, what are you selling and does it look good?
Right.
With this photo, with this video, what are you selling and did you make it look good? So those are two verbals that we use. Feel free to use those, put those into your training guide. Any other verbals that I'm sure we have some, Craig, but anything else that I missed out on?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some of our phrases. Nothing's coming to mind right off the top of my head, but that's the gist of it.
Yeah. A quick one yesterday, because I was talking to Brittany, who is our head of customer support Wow. And we had a client that sent in their own photo and they wanted to green grass themselves.
Oh my
So
gosh.
this was an assistant for one of our largest agents. And she first called in and asked for some tips and tricks on how to do green grass in Canva. And Brittany was very kind. Like, well, we don't use Canva to do green grass. We actually do that in Photoshop and, some other programs. And she's like, okay, well, I'm going to send it to you. So she sends in this green grass and y'all, you would just imagine this grass is terrible. Like it's like green crayon on the backyard. And Brittany's like, she's like, can I even put this on the web? Like, what if people see this and they think it's our photos? I'm like, Brittany, I'm going to give you a verbal we use. Give the people what they want. We've said that for years. There has to be a point in your business to where you just give them what they want, because now we have to fight the individual. They wanted to save $10 on greening grass. Okay, that's fine. I'm not hating them for that. That's their choice. They're great clients of ours. If that's what they want, we have to give it to them. You can only try so hard and care more. And if that's just not their priority, this assistant, she wanted to save money and she was happy with the green grass over spending it to have us do it in a professional way. So give the people what they want. At some point, you just do what they want.
And sometimes you have to be careful, like whatever market this was for us, evidently they're allowed to green the grass, but like in my market, our board doesn't allow grass greening. So what I always do, if I've gotten that request a couple of times, I'm like, they ask, can you green the grass up? I'm like, we're able to, yes, we have the technical, expertise to be able to do so. However, just to educate real quick, the board actually does not allow exterior editing other than sky replacements. So, and if it's caught, there is a potential for a fine. So I just want to provide that information to you. At that point, it's in their hands. If they say do it, we're not going to get fined. But as an affiliate member, I want to make sure I'm trying to support the board's rules and educate, members of that local MLS board. But at that point, it's their business decision. So.
And just a simple thing like that, I mean, that takes time. It took time for Craig to find that information or have that conversation with the person at the board. But that just shows that you're all in, and that's what will gain you long-term clients.
Yeah. And credibility.
Yes.
Because we got a new, I forget what her position was, but it was basically the communications director, but she knew all the rules for the board, but she was new. So when I got back into this business after I'd been out for a little bit, I just asked for, again, the visual, photo and video rules for the board. And she's like, we've never had a photographer ask us that shoots in this area. So she was like impressed that we actually asked for the rules to begin with. But I told her, I said, well, we're affiliate members of the board. We want to abide and support, the board and make sure that we're setting our clients up for success. So that's going to make an impression on the board and word will spread. So give yourself some credibility, find out what your local board rules are, and just be a center of education for your clients.
Craig, you're such a brown noser.
Okay. So that's one way of putting it, Todd.
I had to. I'm sorry. Don't take that.
Let's take this to the business benefit of brown nosing, okay?
Yes. No,
we got some alliteration going there too. The business benefit of brown nosing. I like that.
Oh yes, we need a tune right now to play. Theme song for that.
Right. Oh my gosh. Okay. So anyway, tying in the sales aspect of this, people buy from people they like. That's one of the, maxims that's out there. Be a likable person and make sure that you're letting people know you're looking out for them. People appreciate that. And some of these realtors, they don't know the rules. They haven't, if they read them, they've forgotten them because they're too busy with transactions and whatnot. But if you can be a part, that's how you ingrain yourself in their team. Make yourself the expert on what's allowed in their market. Now, again, they're going to have the final say. They're the boss, right? The client's the boss. But anyway, we could beat
Craig,
that.
Yes, and y'all, I'm completely kidding, giving Craig a hard time. So,
I would be offended, but I know you too well. So, all right. So, Rob, great question. Long answer to a short question, but hopefully that helped you out. All right. Should we move to the next one, Todd?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So this comes from Owen Jack in, I hate not knowing how to pronounce names. I'm going to say Ewan. Anyway, the team from River Media. Thanks. I'll take the fall on that one. Okay. So River Media says, love the podcast. Been super insightful and helpful to us. We are a team. I love this. Todd, I love this. We are a team of a couple of high school seniors from Massachusetts who love photography and videography. And we only recently started doing real estate media jobs. Only recently. Hey, you started. I mean,
why'd you take so long?
I wasn't thinking of starting a business as a high school senior.
Yeah, right.
I was busy playing drums and marching band and dating my girlfriend. Anyway, and thinking about college. Okay, our big problem right now is we're having fun on this podcast. Anyway, our big problem right now is getting our first clients in the space and growing our reach. That's the same for everybody, right? Mm-hmm. How did you guys manage to close your first deals and leverage them to grow? Great question. And they said, we're thinking about getting coffee and donuts as well as business cards, offer free shoots for realtors at open houses this weekend. I think any of those are good ideas. I said, let us know if this is a bad idea. Any idea where you're being proactive to get yourself out in front? Hey, go for it. I mean, anyway. Okay, so there's the first question. They have a couple of questions. So let's tackle that first part. Todd, how did you start? How did you get your first job?
Yeah, so this goes back. I was in my second year of college, and I'd been doing real estate production. And as a senior in high school, I started doing it, but I was doing weddings and just some other productions. And then I pivoted, about a year and a half, 2 years later into real estate. And I did that. Now, the advantage that I have, and you have the same advantage, is no one was doing real estate video at the time. Literally no one. Like it wasn't out there. It wasn't even a thing. Video was really not even a thing on the internet. YouTube was around, but remember, everybody was on dial-up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, this was 2004, and most people were on dial-up. So you're not streaming anything. Nobody had a phone that had any data. It was a beautiful time for you that weren't around. Like, it was incredible. Anyways, I used just my enthusiasm for that medium for video to my advantage. Mm-hmm. So you guys need to do the same thing because you come at it from a different angle than I do. So I'm 41. That's way different than the 17, 18 years old that you guys are. You guys know a lot about technology and how your generation and the generation just ahead of you are using and consuming media. So you need to just show your enthusiasm for that. And you need to approach some agents. Hopefully maybe your moms or dads have used an agent. That's what I did. I went to that agent first and I showed them what I had. You don't necessarily need to sell anything at this point. You can get to there, but build those relationships with just educating agents. Do something different. See what's in your market now. I had the flexibility that doing something different was just doing anything. But you all have this new, fresh perspective of a 17 and 18-year-old with media in 2024. Do something different. See what's being used out there. Come up with an idea of how it could be used different on a different platform in a different way. And then show that to people. Explain it to them. And once you do, just see what their response is. When they start asking you how much it costs, you know you have a good idea. That's what happened to me. I'd show it to people, and literally, y'all, they would make DVD players, and they were portable, and they had a battery in them and a little screen that you would hinge up. Okay, a 7.8 inch. You remember those, Craig?
I do.
And they had a car charger. And not USB. We didn't have USB back then, y'all. It was a cigarette lighter.
Right.
Okay. And so I would travel around and I'd have a DVD. That's the way we brought video in our pocket. And you had to put it into this mechanism. And I would simply open it up in an office and I would play that for people. And they started asking how much it was. And at that point, I knew I had an idea that people wanted and I could put a price behind it. Mm-hmm. So that would be my short answer there. I know they have some more questions, but that's what I did. I would find those same unique selling propositions of what you know in your head. Use your enthusiasm, because those realtors would be like, these guys, they're going to be like, hey, these guys know nothing about real estate, and you probably don't. To be fair, you know a little bit, but you probably don't know a ton about real estate because you just haven't worked with realtors for years. But you do know media. And if you can show that enthusiasm, like, these guys might know something that I don't know.
Right. So when I started my company, C Imaging Solutions, that I'm really not doing that anymore, other than some portraits and things like that. Anyway, I knew I wanted to get into the real estate media space. And so there was a local realtor that my wife knew, and she ended up being the listing agent for the youth pastors at our church. So I reached out to our youth pastors and said, hey, I'm looking at starting a real estate photo and video business, and I'd like to start to build a portfolio. Could I provide the listing photos and video for your home? And they said, oh, well, talk to our realtor, because she's taking care of that. So I reached out to this realtor. I'd never met her before. My wife knew her somehow. I think she went to school with her son or something. Introduced myself, said how I knew, her clients, and just made the offer, told her what I was looking at doing, and said, I'd like to offer you a free shoot. It's going to help me to build a portfolio. And if you're happy with the photos and video, feel free to use them to market the home. And she agreed to it. So I shot that house, and then I offered one more free shoot. I don't remember who it was. And I had 2 listings I had shot, right? So what I did next was I reached out to, again, it was a church relationship. My former pastor, who had gotten his real estate license and had kind of moved into the real estate area. And this guy was kind of a mentor in my life. And I asked him, again, this is where my coffee meeting started. I asked him to coffee and said, I want to run an idea past you and show you something that I'm dreaming about. And Todd, it goes back to what you just said, show your passion. And I get to tell people I love what I do, and people, they latch on to passion and enthusiasm, like authentic enthusiasm. People will latch onto. It's a positive attitude. It's infectious, right? So I sat down with his name is Scott, and told him what my dream was of starting this business. I said, I've shot 2 listings, and I showed him the photos, and had I done video? Actually, I hadn't done video yet. I started with just photos. Showed him the photos, and his eyes got like this. Okay, for those of you listening, just wide eyeballs. He said, Craig, I've been doing photos on my cell phone, and they look horrible. He said, this is amazing. And now, because Scott was a friend and a mentor, and he knew me and I knew him, I got a break. I'll just be honest. I got a break. And he gave me a 12 shoot contract on the spot.
Nice.
I told him I wanted to upgrade my camera. He said, how much does the new camera cost? So I told him what it was going to cost. And what the average cost of a shoot would be. He said, I will contract with you for X amount of shoots that will help you get that camera. So it helped. I had somebody that knew me. But I would say, do you know any realtors that you have any sort of relationship with? Not that you're trying to take advantage of a friendship or anything, but friends want to support friends, right? So if you have a relationship with somebody that you know well, is a realtor, ask them out to coffee, say, hey, I want to, I'll treat, but I want to share just a dream that we have. For River Media, it's a team effort. So, we're young guys. We have an entrepreneurial dream that we want to share with you. And they're a realtor. They've started their own business. They get it. So that would be my suggestion. Try and find a relationship and share your dream. So Scott became my biggest cheerleader. He marketed for me. I mean, like he spread, because people started seeing the photos and they're like, who's doing your photos? And he was my biggest cheerleader. So find a raving fan. That's one of your terms, Todd.
Yes.
Turn them into a raving fan.
They will help you so much. And being authentic and just being honest about where you're at. We had I like that ringtone, Craig.
I thought I had it silenced. Sorry, guys.
So Steve and I had a very large presentation this week, and this was a new thing for us, and we didn't really we haven't done this. This would be something new for our business, and we knew a lot of what it would entail, but there were some parts that we just haven't done this before, and we were very open and honest about that. And this client was so enthusiastic about it, really appreciated that we're like, hey, we don't really know this portion right here. We want your feedback, and we want to be able to take your feedback and build this portion to meet your needs. People love being asked for help. I know that's somewhat hard to believe in 2024. Ask people for help, and you will begin to build a relationship. And they will, it doesn't mean they might not always be a client. They might not be a client, but they might refer you, but they might just give you a little piece of information that you needed and will move you along. So just keep talking to realtors, join your board. Okay. Go to board events. We talked about the board already. Go to board events. Stop by real estate offices. You can take donuts. You can take whatever you want. Another idea, it's in most of the U.S. right now, and I'm trying to figure out where these guys are at. I think they're in the U.S., but it's summer. Go take stock footage of local restaurants, local buildings, landmarks, water, downtowns, schools, subdivisions. Get a bunch of stock footage, and then when you meet with these realtors, give it to them. Send it to them. Say, hey, we want to add to your marketing. We've heard from realtors that they're looking for some stock footage. I wanted to introduce myself. Here, we've included 3 of these local landmarks. There's a million things you could do, but just keep trying and keep talking to realtors.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Second part of their question, they ask about important technical and professional tips and tricks, shooting straight lines, what resolution. That's getting more on the creative side. There's a ton of great resources out there. Any that you would suggest, Todd, for them to learn those sorts of things?
Craig, there are a few off the top of my head. So, I mean, you mentioned straight lines. You have to have verticals. That's the biggest one. Bracket your image, have a wide angle lens, and send it to an editor, and you're probably okay. If you're looking for a well-oiled training course on not only learning photography, but building your business, Eli Jones does a fantastic job. So I've gotten to work a lot with Eli. Eli's a partner in Spiro, and they have an incredible coaching program. Mm-hmm. And so Rep Coaching, REPP Coaching, repteam.com is where you can go and send them a question and talk to their people. It's free to talk to them. So they'll let you know what they have. But I've seen so many success stories out of his group. It's really neat to see.
Yeah. Awesome. And just do a search on YouTube. Even, I mean, there's so many great content providers on.
Mike Burke, Nathan Cool.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Those guys are fantastic.
Mike Burke is Inside Real Estate Photography. He has a ton of stuff that you can. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's all out there. It's free. And then Nathan Cool Photo. So you'll find both of them on YouTube, and they have a ton of great content.
Yep. All right. And then finally, and I love this, what's the best way to talk to realtors, and what are some professional things they expect from you and how you conduct business? I know Craig's mentioned coffee meetings, pitching to brokerages, but I feel, here's what I want to key in on, Todd. Mm-hmm. But I feel that since we're all 17 to 18 years old, we don't have enough experience in general to do something like that. Yeah. You want to answer first? Because I have thoughts on that last part.
Go ahead, Craig.
Okay. One word comes to mind when you said, since I feel we're all 17 and 18, we don't have enough experience. Confidence.
Yeah.
Walk in with confidence and be open that you don't know it all. I would make light of it. Say, we know we're young, we're in high school, but here's our dream. Again, it goes back to sharing the dream. And and it ties in with what you said, Todd, with people that want to help others, that want to mentor others. I would be honest and say, this is what we're wanting to do. We want to add value to your business. We want to do something that we enjoy doing. So we're looking for partners that would mentor us in real estate. I've never done this, but this is just kind of stream of consciousness coming out. But one thing that I would really encourage you to do is don't stress necessarily even the photography, the videography. Stress the business benefit to them adding you to their team. So what are you bringing of business benefit to their team? The goal is they're always looking for more listings. They want to grow their listing business because that's where they make the most money, right? Mm-hmm. So if you can position yourself as a part of their team that's going to add value to their listing business, I want to help you grow your business. And here's how we can do it. That's bringing benefit to them that's going to impress.
Yeah, I love that, Craig.
If a 17-year-old comes to me and says, I want to help you grow your business, I don't expect any 17-year-old to say that.
Yeah, where'd this kid come from?
Right. So it's going to stop me in my tracks. I'm going to listen because at the very least, I'm just curious. I want to meet you. I want to learn a little bit more about you. Yeah. So I would say pitch to them the business benefit of what you can do to help them grow their business, while also growing and adding even more value as your business grows and matures.
Yeah. And for all of you, for everyone else that's not 17 or 18,
right,
that works for you too. I can't tell you how powerful it is if you ask somebody that, how can I help you grow your business? How can I help you get more listings? What are your goals? Ask people those questions. Mm-hmm. It is honestly like a secret recipe to build relationships with people is ask.
Yeah.
So the only thing I'd like to add to that, and it's just a verbal, but I 100% agree with what you said. This is a limiting belief on your side.
Yes.
That you don't have enough experience in general to do something like that. Just flip that on its head and get rid of that first. And you have a ton of experience in a lot of things. You just don't know that they want to know that. You think they want to know about contracts and real estate and inspections and appraisals and all that stuff. Yeah. No, they want to know what's in your head with media because they understand that other stuff. They know it. They do it all day, every day.
There's realtors in their 40s that don't understand stories and reels. Mm-hmm. How can you help a 40-year-old realtor? I'm 48, Todd. I get it about reels and stories, but I don't. I didn't grow up with them, right? So how does that impact potential customers? So bring your expertise in digital media to the table.
Yep. And just one tip. This is going to seem silly, but they're not realtors. They're realtors. They're realtors. I know that seems weird. They're not. You call them realtors. They might correct you. Actually, they're realtors. Okay. You even just use that little tip and be like, oh, this person knows how to say what we are. Now that might be gone away. There's a whole nother legal case. But anyways, realtors is how you pronounce the word.
Yeah. There you go. All right. So Owen, Jack, Ewan, that's how I'm going to say it. Email me the phonetics on that. Craig at wowvideotours.com. I'll feel better. Okay. Should we go to the next question?
Let's do it to Joe.
All right. I think we have time for one more here, Todd. Joe, you know what? I'm going to let you introduce this one.
Sure. So okay. Joe says, we'd love to get your thoughts on a couple of things related to startup. First, I am in Columbus area. So that's and he notes the one that WOW operates in. So we're in the same. How saturated is the real estate market here? I've looked through a lot of listings and they don't seem like many have professional looking media. Maybe I'm just looking in the wrong areas. I'd like to get going and make a living doing this, but I want to be realistic as well. And he also goes on to say that currently he's working a 9-to-5 job. I can't walk away from my 9-to-5 job and give up my salary yet. I wholeheartedly believe in providing the maximum customer service, but I worry about falling short because I may not be able to meet a client's expectations because of obligations from my job. Sure. Any thoughts on how to handle this? Is it just communication up front? I just can't see real estate agents willing to work with me if I'm transitioning for a year plus because of market saturation.
Hmm.
Craig, what would you say to Joe?
So I'm just thinking back when I started mine, I had a 9 to 5. It's funny. I was watching Eli's Facebook stream yesterday, and a very, very similar question came in about a 9 to 5 and when do you have time to do this and even get it going? And what they shared, and this is basically what I did, was do you have time after your 9 to 5 to do one shoot? Right? Multiply that times 5 days a week, build it up slowly where as soon as, yes, we're getting into fall, Columbus, the light is fading faster. So it might be difficult with the light dropping, but can you fit in one shoot after work each day? Can you do any Saturday shoots? Personal beliefs, I don't like to shoot on Sunday at all, but maybe you can shoot on a Sunday too. When do you have the spare time where you can fit it? I think your idea of being upfront with the realtor about this being, you're just moving into this space and here are my available times. I think people respect honesty. I've got another real estate photographer in this competitor in this market that he's a full-time firefighter, but he does this on the side. He does great work. And he's got some clients that they understand his schedule and that he has limited availability. And, he's maintained both jobs, but I would say just start where you can. The other major thing is you want to be real careful. Make sure you have enough savings built up for whatever period of time that you think it's going to take to make that transition to full time. So before I made the jump of going full time and quitting my 9 to 5, I made sure we had enough in our savings, and that can be hard. You might have to, and again, Eli mentioned this last night, you might have to give up some things right now, in terms of your budget to start saving money to build up that savings. But I would check your savings account, build that up as much as you can. And then you just have to pull the trigger and just start shooting.
Yeah, that's a great tips there. You're focused a little bit, Joe, and I mean this with love from my heart. Like, you're focused on what you can't do. Focus on what you can do. So what are the benefits of when you can shoot? Well, you're typically shooting like we don't shoot during those times. If somebody wants something at 5 p.m., sorry, you're not getting us typically. You're not getting us on a weekend usually. So you can shoot all those times. Hey, cool. You can include twilight. It could be a twilight shoot because you're off at those times. So sell the positive. Hey, twilight shoots, focus on that. Focus on the weekends. Again, even just a Saturday, 1 or 2 appointments, those will start to add up. Then you can carve out that little niche. And much like Craig said with the firefighter in his market that can shoot on his days off, I did the same thing when I started. When I was in college, I would give my schedule to my agents and they knew, hey, Todd's off on Tuesdays. He doesn't have class. They just knew my schedule. By Monday, they'd all send in their jobs. And they loved the idea. Like, hey, we got this college kid that's coming up. And they knew on Tuesdays I was available. I'd make them the schedule. I'd send them back the times of their shoots. And I'd go shoot 8 to 10 listings on Tuesdays. Like, it was a good little gig for a college kid. And I did that every Tuesday. And then I shot on the weekends too. So just find the positives in what you can't do. And I know you're asking a question, but there's some limiting beliefs in here as well that you don't think you can. And you really can. So I love that you emailed me. I love that we're in the same market. And that's the beautiful thing about business is there's so much availability. And Columbus is a large market. And even in not large markets, there's just so much possibility to build relationships with people. And it's such a satisfying thing to do. So thanks for emailing that in as well. And Craig, I love your tip. Sorry, I'll finish my run-on sentence, but financials are very important. Yeah. If you all out there are not doing financials in a program, you should have QuickBooks or Xero or something for your business or a spreadsheet. It doesn't even have to be a software. Use Excel. And you should be doing the same for your personal finances. What do you spend every month? How much do you spend on your housing? How much do you spend on transportation? How much do you spend on food? And that's groceries versus eating out. You need to understand where you spend your money. And then if you want to make this transition, you have to start cutting because you're going to have to live lean for a little bit because you need that time. and just be prepared for it. Prepare for the worst and then hope for the best and work hard to get the best. But, and everyone else out there, if you're not putting your financials, your personal financials into a program, you need to start doing that now. You need to know where you're spending your money. I use Quicken at home. It sinks in just like QuickBooks. We use those two platforms in the business, but again, you can use whatever you want. I sit with my wife. I review it. We look at what our spending is. That is super important because it is way too easy to spend money in 2024, y'all.
No joke.
Holy smokes! My kids started collecting ball cards. I'm like, hey, can I get an Ellie De La Cruz, like a sign? I'm like, why am I don't even want this ball card. Like it's just so easy to think, let's buy something. No, we don't need to buy anything. That's the problem.
Right. Yeah, we're spoiled.
I'll stop my rant.
Yeah, I would say we could go on forever on that.
Yeah, because I'm still struggling with that one. It's like, oh, this thing's kind of cool.
Right. Yeah. Let's minimize. That's something I feel like millennials are good at. Is there seems to be a minimalist. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna get off on a rabbit trail here. All right. So 3 great questions. I don't think we have time to tackle another one right now, but we can save that for the next
Sorry
episode.
if we missed you. We'll get you. Yeah. We'll get you in future podcast. Yep.
But great questions. Thank you to everyone that emailed those in or sent them through the Spiro interface. Again, hello@spiro.media is the email address, and we would love to hear from you and help however we can. So, Todd, any final closing thoughts from you?
I'm just going to put first and third Thursdays. Come be with me in the Spiro Super User, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. I have a fear of being alone in there, so somebody come join me.
I have it on my calendar, Todd. I was actually thinking it was starting yesterday, and so like I went into the Spiro Super Users group. I'm like, well, there's nothing. And I looked at my calendar. I'm like, oh no, duh! It starts next week. Which is this week that you're watching this podcast.
Yes. So starting September of 2024, the first and the third Thursday in the Spiro Super User Facebook group, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Dun, dun, dun.
Nice.
That's terrible. Somebody clip that. That's so bad.
I was going to say, I'm going to clip that.
No, Justine, clip that out of here.
I've got the original recording, Todd.
Well, I'm going to go back and get your cell phone ringer then.
Did you catch what that ring was?
I don't know what it's called. I know this song.
It's going back to the 80s. It's from I don't know if anybody caught that. If you did, send us a message. Kudo points to if you knew what the song was. It was "Who Can It Be Now" by Men at Work.
Yeah, that's what it's called. So somebody do a meme with Craig and tattoo something on his face.
New listeners have no idea what you were just talking about.
Craig, we're losing so many people this week. I'm sorry, y'all. We need to end this thing.
We're done. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We will be back with more shenanigans and whatnot. But in the meantime, things are slowing down a little bit. Actually, this last month was crazy busy for me. But as the fall and winter comes on here in the Northern Hemisphere, take some time. Be thankful for your blessings and make sure you take a breath this week. Have a good week.
Thank you for joining us for the Spiro Podcast, Managing Your Real Estate Photography and Videography Business. This is a production of Spiro and Wow Video Tours. You can find out more about Spiro's real estate media business management software at our website, spiro.media.
Dun, dun, dun.